After being marooned on an abandoned planet by the people he once ruled, Richard P. Riddick must get back to his roots and find a way off that rock. When two opposing groups of mercenaries come looking for him, he finds both his way off the planet and an opportunity to settle some unfinished business. I am Russell Ecks, and this is Geek Armada's review of Riddick. Riddick is the third in what is now called the Chronicles of Riddick trilogy. The franchise got its start in 2000 with the film Pitch Black, which was Vin Diesel's first starring role. This film centered around a group of terribly cliched characters that crash-landed on a desolate planet only to discover that an eclipse will shortly begin, accompanied by man-eating alien monsters. And only Riddick, who has had his eyes altered to see in the dark, can lead them to safety. This was followed in 2004 with the film The Chronicles of Riddick, which now centered on the Riddick character instead of just including him as a part of an ensemble cast. This film had a much larger budget and greater production values. This time around, Riddick must escape a group of mercenary bounty hunters so that he can kill the man who destroyed his home planet, and in doing so, take over his evil empire. It had been a long time since I'd seen either film, so in preparation for my review of Riddick, I sat down to watch them both just before going to the screening. I didn't remember much about these films, but what I did remember was that I hadn't liked them. The second time around, however, I found that I hated them. Pitch Black has the least production value of the three films, but that pales in comparison to its lacking in both a good story and good characters. Lots of films have shoestring budgets, but make the most of it and produce incredible masterpieces. While the concept of this movie may seem good on paper, it never provides a good reason why the Riddick character is an anti-hero the audience should support. 4 years later, when Vin Diesel's star was on the rise, the studio pumped a ton of money into the Chronicles of Riddick. And while the increase in production value was clearly visible on screen, this film also had the same story and character problems. Now we come to this summer's Riddick. Considering the plot of this film is so similar to the original film in the franchise, it really feels like this movie was made as a mulligan for Pitch Black. This time around, we got to spend a lot more one-on-one time with Riddick before any other characters are introduced, which should have helped this become a better movie. Sadly, it doesn't. When the other characters do finally arrive, they're just as wooden and contrived as those who came before. Ultimately, the Chronicles of Riddick trilogy has just served as vehicle films for Vin Diesel. While the first film might have been a good cult classic if left undisturbed, the second two films ruined its chances and further served to frustrate an eager audience. I hope this serves as a lesson to Hollywood that not every movie needs a sequel, and not every sci-fi film must become a franchise. The entire Chronicles of Riddick franchise isn't worth your time. But at least the third film, Riddick, is a smidge better at telling the same story as Pitch Black did. That's why I'm giving this movie a 2 out of 10. Starring Vin Diesel, Jordi Mola, and Katie Sackhoff, Riddick opens in theaters Friday, September 6th. Hey, thanks for watching, and remember you can always find more movie, TV show, and video game reviews at geekarmada.com. P.S. There is no post-credit scene after the film, so you won't need to sit through the credits. However, if you're a big Battlestar Galactica fan, there is a scene with a half-topless Katie Sackhoff. So, there's always that, I guess.